Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Saturday. It is October the 27th, 2018. Gonna look at the stakes races on today's program from Belmont, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And I mean it around the world. Today here in New York City, we're having a shit ton of rain, and I think that's an understatement. It was just in the backyard tying everything down. We're gonna get a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and hopefully Jesus or whatever it is, Moses, and hopefully you get Moses and all the animals in the ark ready in time. Getting to the point here, I don't think Belmont's gonna run, but knowing me, they're gonna run. Knowing me, if I don't do the video, they're gonna run. But me doing the video, they're not going to run. But hopefully, it's dicey, the weather, shall we say. So I looked at the races. We'll see what happens. If this was a week later, shall we say, at Aqueduct, this card would definitely be canceled. But since it's at Belmont, it's a little, up in the air. But, it's some good races here. It's going to be a shame that you're going to see some most likely wet weather. But, things have the weathermen have got some stuff wrong occasionally. So I'm giving you, for these turf races I'll be looking at, I'm giving you out a turf selection and a main track only selection. So, I'll be covered here. So let's get on to it. We're going to look at the stakes races. There's 3 good ones on tap, races 4, 8, and 9. So 4, 8, and 9, let's get on to it. Starting off with the 4th race from Belmont, which is the Awad Stakes. Purse $100,000, races for 2-year-olds. Field of 9 horses, hopefully going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Widener turf course, most likely the Belmont main track. 1,600, 1 mile, most likely the Belmont main track, but it also could possibly be next week at Aqueduct on the turf course. My top selection here in the Awad, my turf selection is going to be the 6-horse Empire of War. That's the turf selection, and my main track only selection would be the 8-horse Till Then. So we'll talk about both of them, but we'll start off with the turf selection, the 6-horse Empire of War. Manny Franco's on this one for top pletcher, Tiro Colt by Declaration of War, who we all remember from his great run in the 2013 British Cup Classic. The horse's most recent outing came the 6th of October here at Belmont, mile 16th on the Widener and main special weight 75,000. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths, on lead all throughout from wide post draw. The horse just had a very easy victory there. Before that, here on a sloppy going up Belmont, 1 mile main track, September the 9th. The horse finished 3rd by 9 1/4 lengths. Set the pace early on. That got caught right, in the stretch run. Just couldn't keep up. But it wasn't the world's worst race for him. And then at Saratoga, 7 furlong main special weight 85,000. The horse finished 4th by 6.5 lengths. Horrible trip, very wide. That was more of a trip than a lot of other horses got into his way, just couldn't keep up with them. But his last turf race was nice. Even on the main track, if this race does get taken off the turf and run on the main track, he's a horse I would definitely use in the multis. But I like him a lot for a turf race also. He has the speed to win. I'll use him here. I'll use my main track only selection. Top selection would be the 8-horse Till Then. 7-5, Tiro Colt by point of entry. Javier Castellano picks up the mount for Jonathan Thomas. This horse's most recent outing came 29th of September here at Belmont. 7 furlongs on the main track and main special weight for 75 grand. The horse finished 2nd by 1 1/4 lengths. Set the pace early on, but then just got caught, in the stretch run. Really just need that extra kick. Didn't have it. First start, he probably needed the race. I think second here, with a wet horse, I think he'll do well. He's been training well. Like I said, he's going to be my main track only selection, so watch out for him. But to recap my selections for the 4th from Belmont, it's the Awad Stakes. My turf selection now, my top turf selection would be the 6-horse Empire of War. My top main track only selection would be the 8-horse Till Then. But to tell you the truth, if this race is run on the main track, I would probably use both of them if they're both entered on the main track and multi-race tickets, so 6, 8 in the multis. So now we're going to head over to race number 8 from Belmont. 8th race, back to the turf again, hopefully. If not, it could be possibly run on the turf, but like I said, next week at Belmont, at Aqueduct. But the 8th race from Belmont, it's the English Channel Stakes, named after the 2007 British Cup turf winner at Monmouth, in a horrible rainy day, except for that one race. I think the sun started peeking out at Monmouth during the British Cup turf that year where English Channel won. But this race is for $100,000. Race, it's for 3-year-olds here. Field of 9 horses going 1,600, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Widener turf course, possibly the main track again at Belmont. 1600, 1 mile. Top selection here. I like the 10 horse as a turf selection. The 10 horse Medal of Honor. 10 horse Medal of Honor is my turf selection. My main track only selection would be the 8 horse Golden Brown. So 10 for the turf, 8 for the main track. We'll talk about my turf selection, 10 horse Medal of Honor. This 3-year-old colt by Luke de Vega. John Velasquez gets on this one for Joseph O'Brien. First start stateside, first start Lasix. Most recently had to start the 1st of September at the Curragh. 1 mile in a handicap. The Irish Tote Cambridgeshire Handicap. The horse finished 8th by 5 3/4 lengths there. And he just never had the good closing kick, never got into it. It wasn't the day to win. Those are some tough handicaps in Europe. Before that, the Curragh. 1 mile in the sensational kids handicap. The horse finished 6th by 5 1/4 lengths. And again, he just was towards the back of the pack and never had that good turn of foot. And then at Leopardstown and a 1 mile handicap, Leopardstown handicap, he finished 4th by 7 lengths. Again, towards the back of the pack and had a little bit of a turn of foot, but again, it wasn't enough to win. The horse's last victory came at the Curragh in late May in a 1 mile handicap where he won by 1/4 lengths, closing up well, circling the field at the end. He is a deep closer here. He has run well on soft ground in the past. I'll take him here at 12-1, but if this race is run on the dirt, I wouldn't back him. He's just not a horse I would really back on the dirt because he doesn't have a lot of dirt pedigree, and I highly doubt that he runs on the dirt. But another horse which I'll use for my main track only selection would be the 8 horse Golden Brown. This 3-0 colt by Awfully Wild. Junior Alvarado gets the leg up for Patrick McBurney. The horse's most recent outing, 6th of October here at Belmont, mile 8th on the inner in the Hill Prince Stakes. The horse finished 6th by 4 lengths, and he just was very wide and just had nothing. Never quickened up. It wasn't the day to win. Before then, the Saranac at Saratoga, mile 8th, September the 1st, backed him that day, and he had absolutely a horrible trip. Finished 5th by 5.5 lengths. Hit the gate going out of it. Stalked early, never got the turn of foot. It just wasn't the day to win. And then they ran the horse in the Haskell because he's a Jersey bred. That day the horse was 5th by 13 3/4 lengths. He was very wide throughout and just never got there. His last win came in the Kent at Delaware, going a mile 8th, where he upset it out 15-1. He won by 1 3/4 lengths. Just getting down there late. He has some dirt experience, and he has some sloppy dirt experience by winning his maiden at Parks over the winter very nicely, going 6 furlongs on the slop, won by 2 lengths. Really good turn of foot there. I like this horse a lot. 8-1, he's his morning line, but if this race is run on the dirt and he runs, I think you're going to see at least half the odds on the dirt, which is going to be a shame, but you never know. Maybe these turf races here in New York, when they're off the turf and run on the main track, are the wrong betting kind of races. The public usually go some stupid way. So maybe if we could get 8-1, I'll be quite happy on him on the main track, so watch out. Hopefully they run today at Belmont. But to recap my selections for the 8th from Belmont, it's the English Channel Stakes. Going to go with the 10 horse Medal of Honor as my top turf selection, and as my top main track only selection, I'll go to the 8 horse Golden Brown. So 10 for the turf, 8 for the main track. So now let's get on to the featured 9th race from Belmont. The 9th race from Belmont, it's the Bold Ruler Handicap, Grade 3, purse $200,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, if you want to go with that, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs, Belmont main track. This race won't be taken off the turf, I can tell you that. My top selection here, I like the number 3 horse, True Timber. Going to go 3-4-1-5 in the superfecta. 3-4-1-5 super. Top selection of 3 horse, True Timber. 4-year-old colt by Mineshaft. Joe Bravo gets leg up from Kieran McLaughlin. The horse's most recent outing came the 16th of September here at Belmont. 6 furlongs opposite Lady Claimer. He won by a neck. He sat on the pace most of the race, and he just had a great comeback victory there. A really good effort. Before that, at Belmont, 7 furlongs, June the 10th, and off 6-2 Claimer. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths. Again, horrible beginning that day, but stalked, and he got there in the end. A good race. And then he had 2 races before that, Belmont and Aqueduct, and off 6-2 Claimers, where he just never had the run. He finished 3rd in both of them, and he just ran absolutely crap. And then he ran last year's Discovery Handicap at Aqueduct. Don't know why, because mile 8th routing wasn't to his liking. Finished 6th by 25 1/4 lengths. He just hated it there. But, he's done his best running here at Belmont. I think this is a bit of a wide open race. He can handle a sloppy going, and I just think the favorite's going to be a little vulnerable here first start off the break, probably in testing conditions. So I think True Timber is a little bit of a better price here for me, so I'll take him. So to recap my selections for the ninth from Belmont's to grade 3 Bold Ruler Handicap, gonna go with the 3-horse True Timber, gonna go with 3-4-1-5 in the superfecta, 3-4-1-5 super. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.